So we are all Kenyans, right? No, actually, that is a stupid question to ask. I should have started with, so we as Kenyans have been accustomed to politicians not lying to us. In fact, I dare say that for you to be a better politician, you just have to master the art of lying. And you have to lie well. And maybe the reason you have to lie is because you have to sell a message that your followers would like. Now, I think someone online by the name KOT Socha are just given politicians the solution never to lie again. And this is what his tweet says, and I would really like this. Kwani serikali haiwezi chagua game tatu legit za 4 odds, alafu iwekelee na 500 billion turudishe uchumi ya Kenya haraka? And the first response will show you exactly where we are. And that's for somebody by Kashfa who's saying, kwanza wawekelele game ya Chelsea, juu wanapigwa kuliko sherehe. That's not me, because according to them, the only thing you're supposed to do is just float a 500 billion shillings bet and wait to earn 2 trillion shillings. Listen, this might just be the best solution that anyone may have given to them. But I think it might work well too, because if you're going to promise people all this, the only way you can do it is through a well-calculated bet.
In 3 months' time, the stadium in Chuka will be complete. In 3 months' time, the stadium in Moyale will be complete. In 6 months' time, the stadium in Kamarin in West Pokot, which is historic, will be complete. In a couple of months, the stadium in Eldoret will be complete. In Nyeri, the president gave the title. There was a challenge of title. Now we have a title, and now the program has been rolled out.
Listen, in 2 months, I'll be the president of the Republic of Kenya now that there's a lot of mandamano. I think this one is up for grabs. In 1 month, I will be having 6 wives, and 10 of them will be supermodels. In just 2 days, I'll also drive 16 Maybachs 2022, and in about 3 months, I'll be a pastor in Nairobi. But maybe the thing we have to tell our politicians, when you lie, please do not attach a period to it, because then when that time comes, we shall look for you to show you that you just haven't delivered it yet.
Noting that there exists a consumer protection mechanism to cushion Kenyans from adverse fluctuation in fuel prices. This mechanism is financed by the taxpayer at the pump through the fuel levy fund.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Ruto in the run-in to the general elections on 9th August, talking about how the government should dig into the petroleum levy fund to get money to cushion Kenyans from the high cost of fuels. 2 months fast forward, this is President Dr. William Ruto speaking honestly about cushioning Kenyans from the high cost of fuel.
We will not go back to subsidies that benefit brokers, cartels, and people who are politically correct. We will not go back to that.
Simply, you are lying, Bwana. So, Dr. President William Ruto's biggest promise upon assuming office was to cut down expenditure by 300 billion shillings. He's a man who complained about waste of public resources to promise to fix the country. All the headlines that we have seen from this office have been telling us that he is not ready for that conversation. Okay, let's take a look at this. Now, this is the first one. Now, President William Ruto's administration has increased the budget for day-to-day running of the national government by 87.57 billion shillings as the administration reorganizes the budget plan inherited from Uhuru Kenyatta administration. Recurrent expenditure for this financial year ending June has been revised to 1.27 trillion. Now, President William Ruto's government or his office ate through 6 billion shillings in less than 6 months in office, cleared it all, and when asking for more, he was granted another 5 billion to run his office affairs. So, if you haven't known it yet, there's a proposal by SRC that has been fighting to reduce expenditure by public officers to improve their allowances. And you do really want me to tell you this, but despite PAC approving 23 positions for CIS docket in his government, he went ahead and appointed 50, making one office run by one CIS attract almost 7 officials. No, you don't want me to tell you that. Now, if you are indeed going to fix the cost of living, one area that you have to start from is the cost of production, or simply the biggest element in the cost of production: power. Now let's listen to his CS Energy on what he thinks the magic bullet to fixing Kenya power is.
We really also need to think out of the box on how Kenya Power trades. Think about how Safaricom trades. They give you a zone to manage, and you can buy power in bulk, and you prepay. For those of us who work for Safaricom, Safaricom is not owed any money. You prepare airtime and distribute. Collect the money, prepay, you collect more.
Now, let me save you the energy in trying to decipher what the entire explanation meant. Increase the cost of power and increase it, they will. From this April, power is expected to go up by a whopping 63%.
To allay the fears that are being spread by people that there will be an increase in electricity costs, I want to assure the country that we removed subsidies in August. There will be no additional charges today or going into the future on electricity bills to the people of Kenya. We are conducting a whole review of tariffs of all our energy requirements, and in 3 months' time.
And our president likes 2 to 3 months timeline in his lies. Please, someone tell him to stop lying. But even if this is the only statement that you went into, if you find him giving this promise, couldn't you think that this man right here is trying to lie?
At the with minimum earnings.
In the next given aid, dude, what are you doing? If you want to say something and you merely just say it, stop. You're not even sure. Say that I might be wrong, and I might be wrong, but then I might just be right too. Two ways. I might be completely wrong. This is no lie. But then again, you can't just look at me and say, Simba, you're wrong. I might be right too. Maybe then this will be the worst time possible for me to remind you of this.
Na tupange kilimo yenu kwanza hapa chini, hapa bottom, alafu tuende up, bottom alafu up, yani bottom up. Wapi watu wa bottom up hapa, nione watu ya bottom up.
Listen, or even this one. Because the thing is, I know right now, both positive and negative messaging around this subject just has one result: anger. But maybe, just maybe, he needs to stop attaching a period on his lies, because he actually delivers or has delivered on some of them. Now, his promise on Galana Kilalo Dam,
ndani ya miezi miwili mitatu nitaanza kujenga damu pale Galana.
I know there's some people who, if I told them that every time Ruto says in 2 or 3 months, and could be in Kiswahili as well. Ndani ya miezi miwili mitatu, that I'll give them 10 shillings right now. Since the guy started his campaigns all the way to becoming a president, they would have become billionaires. Now, the thing is, the President's Ford check has shown that work is actually underway to get work started on it through a PPP route. Only question is, why priests who are supposed to kulisha kondoo wa Yesu were given a piece of the project to grow cow feed? So should we now change the phrase officially to wachungaji wa ng'ombe wa Yesu?
President Ruto's directive. The president directed the National Irrigation Authority to...
This is This Week Tonight.
I've spent the week in Nairobi. I look forward to coming back and spending more time in Kenya. Meeting some of you as customers has been really a privilege for me. Your passion for the brand, your passion for our partner Rubis really gives me great hope that the wedding ceremony we're having today will really turn into a long and prosperous marriage as we go forward.
Castrol was founded on a sense of purpose. We have a pioneering heritage of creating best-in-class lubricants and anticipating the needs of people's requirements for lubricants tomorrow. And that is how we continue with our business today. But we couldn't be where we are without working with partners. And as you can see from our heritage through the hallway and through outside in the foyer, there you can see some of our heritage and history and some of our partners we've worked with and who we've developed lubricants with. Our partnership with Rubis Energy Kenya is absolutely leaps forward for Castrol. We are now present in East Africa through Rubis Energy Kenya. Through their 260 forecourts nationwide, you can now buy Castrol lubricants.
One, two, three. There we go, there we go. Now we're getting started.
No, Castrol is now blending in Mombasa, so we are blending our products such as GTX and our CRBs and some of our monogrades. Castrol is now blending in Kenya. Castrol is now blending in East Africa. We've been looking for the right partner and we have been getting everything in place. So come here to talk about the future and our partnership with Rubis. Talking about the past, I think we should look at the future. Rubis is our exclusive partner in Kenya. This is not a distribution agreement. Rubis Energy Kenya is our true partner. It's a genuine partnership. So Rubis are exclusive. So the products in the market at the moment is the full range of Castrol lubricants. So Edge, which is working best under extreme pressure. We have Magnatech with its dual lock technology, so it ensures that the molecules cling to the working parts of the engine from cold start to warm operation. We also have GTX, which is our product that lasts for long distance driving. It also continues to clean the engine. And then we have our CRB products, which are for fleets, transporters and commercial vehicles, which increases the interval time between servicing.
More metal-to-metal contact can increase wear and reduce efficiency. With engines under such pressures, we need an oil that is proven strong.
Okay, the partnership between Castrol and Rubis is quite important for Rubis to grow in Kenya, because now we can give to our customers the best quality lubricants, because as you may know, Castrol is one of the leading companies in terms of lubricants. So now we will be able to provide our customers with that best quality product. So it's very important even for Rubis. It's not something small, it's something big, and we are very happy to share that event with you today. The partnership will definitely impact the lubricant market, because we will be able to provide the customers with quality lubricants at a very competitive price, because as I said before, we are going to blend locally in Mombasa our lubricants. So it means that the price will be more competitive, and it will also be a unique opportunity to give some more jobs to people in Kenya, and also to bring better quality, better supply chain in Kenya. So it's really for customers in Kenya a unique opportunity to have access to this fantastic range of products. Castrol has an exclusive partnership with Rubis, so we will be selling Castrol products in our retail outlets. We have 260 retail outlets today in Kenya, so we are everywhere in the country. In addition to that, we are going to partner with spare shops, distributors, resellers. We are also going to sell our products to industries, so it will be everywhere in Kenya. And once again, it's an exclusive partnership between Castrol and Rubis. Before Castrol, Rubis was not strong enough in selling lubricants, so the fact of partnering with Castrol will definitely give to Rubis a unique competitive advantage of providing these top quality lubricants to the market. It was not the case before. From today onwards, we will be in a position to give that benefit to our customers. So that's why it's so important for Rubis today to be able to share with you that partnership, because as I said, there was before and now it's after, and after means we are in a position to compete with equal quality products on the market in Kenya. So it's a fantastic day for us. It's a fantastic opportunity to grow our business and to bring that quality products to many, many customers in Kenya.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for still sticking with us right here on our Look Up Business, or certainly Look Up TV. The hashtag is a Look Up Business. Let's then get into the last part of our conversation tonight. I was going to touch on an area or a sector that is the biggest contributor to GDP in the country, and we're talking about agriculture. But which industry? Dairy farming. All right. Now, just a point of exactly the numbers that we're looking at when we're talking about the dairy industry in Kenya. You have to look at that number at around 14% of Kenya's agricultural GDP. That is what the dairy sector accounts for. And that's a huge one, because if you look at what accounts mainly of that percentage, it's milk, which primarily is produced by smallholder dairy farmers, who account for 56% of the total output of this milk that we're talking about here. It's also estimated that the sector has 1.8 million smallholder farmers, or about 80% of the producers, and the remaining 44% of the milk output comes from large commercial farmers in the country. So we'll see exactly why smallholder farmers hold a big chunk of this particular industry. And if we're going to talk about then that conversation, we have to talk about that industry from this perspective, those who've grown with the industry. And I want to introduce you to a man who got into this business way back in 1990s. A shame, because indeed back in 1990 some of us were not even born, but that conversation had already started. So let me take this time to introduce to Look Up Business tonight Mr. Muhika Mutahi, who is the founder and a chair Mukurweini Wakulima Dairy Limited. Mr. Mutahi, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
Happy to have you around.
It's a pleasure too.
Let's take time and go back to 1990. That's a long time that we're talking about. What is your story when it comes to dairy farming?
Mine is quite a long story.
Yes.
Because it sounds so, and practically it is. This is my 32nd year in the industry.
Oof.
That is commercially. I was in daily farming even before, but that was domestic. But I became a commercial farmer from 1990. I remember the date was 16th November.
Yes.
So we are exactly 32 years old.
That's a long period, isn't it?
It is.
So you've seen the industry grow, you've seen the sector grow. In fact, if you tell the story of even how we've grown as a country, you're the right man to talk to. Could you point out what you were doing in 1990, which you are not completely doing in 2023 in this industry?
In 1990,
yes.
Fortunately, I was a councillor in Nyeri County, as young as I was.
No wonder the name honorable then.
That time there was no honorable.
Yeah.
That time it was just a councillor.
It was just a councillor. Yeah.
But these days it's about honorable.
That's
MCA.
MCA.
And if you never address them as that, as such, then you have problems.
Yes.
Ours was just a councillor. And it is from that time that we founded Mukurweini Wakulima Daily. It was then when we started was a self-help group. We started it as a self-help group. I brought men and women of the same ideas, and we started Mukurweini Wakulima self-help group.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's where exactly now where the conversation then starts. What was the intention of creating this self-help group? What were you looking at? What was your long-term vision in it?
I would start by saying, by then that I've said, like I've said before, I was a producer of milk, but then it was just going to waste. You know, all the excess milk after the domestic use was going to waste. Because before I started Mukurweini Wakulima Self-Help Group, there was a Mukurweini Daily Men's Cooperative Society, which was started in early 60s. I was not even there. Early 60s. But it was land down. Many times it was, revived and, with the management, with the directors, it was land down. Until now, when a few people also, like myself, decided that now that we have some milk, we need to bring ourselves together, birds of a feather, with the same interest, and see how we can bulk or aggregate our milk.
Yes.
And sell it to the processors. Processors then were on the Brookside and now the new KCC. So that's how we started.
That's how you started.
Yeah.
Hold on. So could you tell me how you've grown over time? Because I just, if you have time to tell the story, we'll tell it the entire day. But could you tell me how now you've grown all the way from being a self-help group to being a limited company now?
From self-help group, we could not take cooperative route. Because before, like I've told you, previous cooperatives were land down, and they went down with farmers' money. So nobody would have wanted to hear the word cooperative. And so we thought the best way now, because we have overgrown the self-help group. With the self-help group is about social services. The checks have to be taken to a social services officer. They have to be approved. The bureaucracies with self-help group was quite tedious. And so we decided we are going to go company way. We are going to have Mukurweini Wakulima Daily Limited. So it is from then Mukurweini Wakulima Daily Limited was born. Still doing the same thing, but as we started with 32 liters, the first day I didn't tell you we started with 32 liters.
Only?
We picked 32 liters.
Only.
And today, from where I'm seated, we are producing not less than, during glut period, we are producing about 80,000 liters.
That's a lot of liters per day, from just 32 liters.
Today is about 80,000 liters per day.
All right, now let's talk about this particular industry from this perspective. And just before we came on air, I kept on telling you that from the way that you've placed yourself as a limited company, you're not just in the business of milk, you're right within the challenges and the successes of the industry. Now, I want to point you out to exactly what is pointed out as one of the challenges that are facing small-scale milk producers in this country. First one, choice of breeds. That farmers have not been told which kind of breeds they're going for, so they can hit peak production of milk. How are you solving that as a company?
We are direct importers of semen.
Yes.
We also buy in bulk the imported semen, not the local, the imported semen. And that's the only way to improve our breed. And that was the only way we could have improved our production. We are talking of 32 and 82. There is no other formula. There is no rocket science in that. It's about the breed. It's about the semen that you give to the farmers to give to the animals. Again, we introduced a department called Veterinary Services Department, where we engaged qualified veterinary surgeon. We have one veterinary surgeon, and we have other inspectors. 5 of them, right? So in case of education, in case of the best semen, we advised, we have the catalog, they have catalogs which will advise us the best and the best semen to give to animals.
Yes.
So that's how we increased our production.
Pretty much. And somebody is asking this question then, that indeed you as a company now, is it that you have farmers that are attached to the company that As opposed to just getting milk from them, you're telling them, look here, we work with you, we also want you to improve, so here are the other services that you can get to us, or that is a benefit any farmer supplies to you, you get.
That is one of them. You know, by opening that department, I've said, called Veterinary Services Department.
Yes.
We also opened other departments. And before we opened other departments, in fact, our focus, even creating the company, was to see how we can process our own milk. I told you, we used to bulk, we used to aggregate milk, and then take it to the processors. And the processors then was Brookside and also KCC. So our focus was, because in fact, the agreement that we signed with this, like Brookside, they could not really accomplish what is already in the agreement. So we are disillusioned. We were so disappointed. We decided now the second step is to start
processing our own milk.
So in our AGMs, I brought up that idea. I brought up that agenda.
What was the first reaction when you brought up that idea?
It was a bit hostile because I had to tell them the truth that now, instead of getting maybe the 5 shillings you're getting per litre, you'll be getting 4 shillings or 3 shillings and 50 cents.
Yeah.
But I also assured them that we are going to indicate, we are going to record that one as shares. So from the time you start buying shares is from the time you register yourself as a processor. So that's how we started.
Yes.
And later on, when we had a substantial amount of savings, we went to a bank and we procured a loan. Our first bank to give us a loan was Stan Bank.
Yes.
Stan Bank. That is the one that gave us about 100 million. And we have repaid that. We took another one because of the expansion. We have also repaid. We have no problem.
Pretty much. Interesting story. Now let's go to the other second challenge, which again, some people have said, well, there is an opportunity here, as opposed to just looking at the challenge. It is about the feed quality and cost. That is, should you decide then to get into dairy farming in the country as a small-scale holder farmer, this is a challenge that you're going to run into. As Mukurweini, how are you solving this?
We have had that challenge, and about 15 years ago, because even then those challenges were there. We started our own feeds company. We started manufacturing our own feeds, not for commercial use, but for our farmers, because what we are lacking is quality, and what we needed in this case is quality. Is quality. So
hold on, that what we're lacking is quality.
Is quality.
The feeds are there, but are they quality?
No, they are not. They are not. And that's why I'm telling you, we didn't start it as a commercial business. It's just to supply to our farmers. We just break even.
Yes.
And then on check-off system, then we deduct that at the end of the month. At the payment day, we deduct that. So we have quality feeds.
And that's a seamless process that you've introduced to your farmers, isn't it?
Yes, we did.
Yes. Now, another challenge, which essentially I don't have to ask you, Mr. Mutahi, because it's right there in terms of the way that you're talking about it, is the formalization of the business in the country. And I would like to ask you then, in this sense, because I know now you have farmers, you know them, in fact there's a check system you're talking about. For you, it's a formal business completely. Somebody knows that, well, I'm in business Mukurweini, I'm going to get paid at the end of the month. My problem is their problem as well. But do you think that in this country now, that we've reached that level where if you're a small-scale dairy producer in this country, that you are in a formal system? Are we there yet?
We are in the formal.
Yes.
Now we are in the formal, but to go to the formal one,
yes,
the process is there. The process is wrong, but the best way and the shortcut to do that, if I was to be asked, is to form cooperative. Don't go it alone, like we did. It's about forming cooperatives. If there are 2, 3, 5 dairy producers, let them combine effort when they combine effort, these economies of scale, they will have their own machinery, they will have their own production, which will be cheaper. And again, they will have enough to process. You know, like us now, our capacity has always been 100,000 liters. But we could see in the next 2-3 years, this production might double, or it will double.
Yes.
So we have now equipments where we can produce, whose capacity is 300,000 liters per day. So in Mukurweini and in Nyeri, instead of other daily cooperative societies starting their own processing company, we have the space, we have the capacity. It is better for them, rather than spending the money that we've spent, the cash that we've spent to bring that plant up, which is about 400 million, and they join us maybe for a small cost, instead of, replicating, by spending another 400,000 to do the same thing. And we have a space where we can process 300,000 liters, and 300,000 liters is not a small.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke, isn't it?
Yes. So I would request, let's this country go back into cooperatives. Let's bring small and big producers, to the table, and they discuss and they agree. We went alone, but even for today, I would wish to ask all the people producing milk to come together and have one huge industry to produce milk.
Sort of formal system, as opposed to saying that you're now a hawk of milk and milk products within. Pretty much. Now, on the question of extension services, I know you have your system as well. What do you think lacked within the government system that you said, we don't have to rely on the extension services we're receiving from the government, let's go our own way? What is this thing that you saw lacking, then you said, I want to solve this?
Two things were lacking. Two major ones, and I will just mention the two. One, for example, AI services. That was a government, artificial insemination services. That is now, we are talking about the semen. Before, it was fully controlled by the government. They used to give those semen for free, right? And we could not wait any longer, because it is like that department in the government died. Okay. So we started our own. And I told you we import our own semen. And we also buy from the importers the semen. And in fact, that department died completely. I don't think there's any more government semens. The other one is about the extension services. Those days, my days when I was young, there used to be agricultural extension services, men and women. They are no longer there. About 20 or 30 years. They don't any longer exist. So we also started our own department. We have 8 officers who are doing the extension. We call it MP, that is milk procurement and extension. And I said we also have veterinary, where we have about 5 officers. So those are the services that we used to, the farmers used to get from the government. But we could not wait for the government to give those services, because they were not consistent and they were very unreliable.
I see. Pretty much. Now, the next part of the conversation is going to touch around one area which we're essentially solving. I want to ask from this perspective, how big a challenge is it when it comes to market for small-scale holder in this country? And are you essentially telling any other farmer in Nyeri, we're your market? You don't have to look for market. Just give us your product. And when it comes to market, do not worry about it. Is that what you're telling? Is that what you're telling small-scale holder farmers?
Yes.
Do not worry about the market.
No. That's what I'm telling them. And the reason I'm telling them is we have even grown from fresh milk. Fresh milk means that shelf life is 2 days. We've grown to what is called long life.
By the way, and we're going to come and talk about it. We have the package right here.
Yes. So long life is milk that you can store for even 6 months. 6 months. If you wanted to produce for 6 months, if you wanted to produce for 1 month, if you wanted to produce for 3 months, you can do that. But as in very rare cases, we produce for 6 months. Because milk is something, it's fast moving. So there is no way you're going to keep milk until 6 months. But in case it happens, that's why we are encouraging our farmers. You produce more because we have the storage. What we just need is just to look for additional capital so that we pay you the way we've been paying you for the last 15 years. Because for the last 15 years, we pay our farmers on the 5th day of every month.
Without
unless it falls on a Sunday. Unless it falls on a public holiday. That is the only time we don't pay them on 5th. Okay? So we are encouraging them. We are not only collecting milk from Mukurweini because of that capacity I told you. We have the machineries, we have the equipment that can do 300,000 liters. That is from about 2 months ago when we brought in the equipment from Finland and also from Denmark and from Italy. So we are encouraging our farmers, you bring the milk, just dump it to us. We shall look for the market. And that is what we are doing, and we have not had any problem. Small hiccups, okay, a month or two when there are drought periods, 2 months or 3 months during drought periods. That is when there is a lot of rain and farmers and all other processors are producing a lot and putting it into the market. That's the only time. But that has never hindered us to tell our farmers and encourage our farmers to even produce.
That is, yes, pretty much. Now, but we want to come back and talk about this. But for the few minutes that we have left, I think now you've morphed. I think your story from 1990 up to 2023 now, 32 years in the business, you've grown from just give us your milk. Because now I think when you have extension services, when you have all these other services you're giving your farmers, I think you're also inspiring other farmers who might not necessarily be in this particular industry to also join this industry. Have you had people approaching you for capital? I want to start this business, be your supplier. Is that an area that you're looking into in the sense of if more farmers want to join, let's give them capital to acquire this semen to get more cows so we can get this product that we're looking for?
The world of daily farming is changing. It does not count on how many cows you have. It counts how many liters a cow is going to produce.
It's not the number of cows.
No. Absolutely.
It's the liter of milk that you're getting per cow.
Per cow. Because the average production per cow today in Kenya, in Africa, we have the biggest number of cows in Africa. Not even South Africa, we beat South Africa. In number of cows. But in number of liters that we produce,
that's why it's that beating us then.
We could be number 20 or we could number
in Africa.
Okay, number 5.
In Africa.
Yeah, in Africa. But we have the most animals.
Despite the number of animals that we have. Yeah.
Yes. So I repeat this. It's not about the number of animals that we have. It is about the production per cow.
Per cow.
Production per cow. Yeah.
Pretty much. Now, Mr. Mutahi, I know we have 3 minutes left. This is exactly, we've looked at the table now here. We have this one that we're calling Royal Fresh, this particular packet. Should somebody walk into the supermarket today and get this particular one, and I'm going to lift it so we can actually get to see it. It is ultra heated milk. Could you describe this to us? What is this area that you've gone into as Mukurweini, and what are we looking at essentially when we see this packet now?
What we are looking into that is it could be long life.
Yeah, this is a long life, yes.
Yes. A long. The only reason, people think because it's long life, there are chemicals put, so that this can last for 2 months or 3 months or 4 months.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
It is about that pasteurization. The pasteurization level With long life, you passagealize, I think it's between 140 and 150 degrees. That is passagerization. That is suppressing all the bacteria. And before they reproduce, again, the 6 months we are talking about, they have not have reproduced to a level that milk can go bad.
That's it.
So the reason why we prefer, even our salesmen and saleswomen, why they prefer this is because there is no chemicals, there is no nothing. I told you, a perception is that
the chemicals inside for it to last this long, isn't it? There are no chemicals at all.
No, absolutely.
Yes. Well,
absolutely.
Yes. Another question, when did you get into this line of business as Mukurweini? When did you get into this line of business of long life milk?
This is about 3 years ago.
3 years down the line, isn't it?
Sure, but
all
3
right.
years or 4 years ago at most.
That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Now, I looked at a particular product here that would essentially show me the journey then that you're taking as Mukurweini. I've got this one. It's a coffee flavored yogurt. I've never had this, by the way. I'm one of those people going to say I've never had this. It's quite an inventive product that is coming from your company. Is that showcasing that Mukurweini now is also fully experimenting with the type of products that you can actually push into the Kenyan market? What is the story behind this?
This is a unique product.
Yes.
Unique in terms of you'll not get any other coffee yogurt anywhere.
Never seen it.
At all.
Never seen it, but that's true. Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And in fact, we are encouraging people to taste it because it is not a flavor made in the laboratory. This is original coffee from the farm. And we partnered with Kiage University. Kiage University has a land of coffee. And it is from there that they introduced this flavor to us. And since we partner, in fact, even before they produced, they brought up this flavor. We are partnering. We do a lot with them. They even bring their students for training and for courses, and we also take our people there to learn a few of those things. So this one, we are not going to get it anywhere. It's a special flavor.
Mukurweini.
And I would say not only in Kenya, I think in Africa, you're not going to get this. I would wish everybody to taste it.
Today.
Especially those people who
haven't tested it yet, but look for it.
Yes, look for it. Others, they're there.
Yeah.
The one that, again, we started the other day is the natural yogurt.
That's it.
Which has no sugar at all. The rest are common, like vanilla, strawberry.
Yes.
Those are vanilla. I mean, those are not unique in the market. They're there in the shelves of supermarkets. But coffee is only
never going to be there.
It's only Royal. You can only get it from Royal.
Pretty much.
And not any other.
Now, in 15 seconds, I mean, your story has been short, precise. I wish we had 1 hour to really talk about exactly what plans you have. But in just 15 seconds, if you may. The next 5 years, I know it's funny to tell a company that has been running for 32 years, they give me your plan in 5 years. But even 3 years, we've seen all this. In 5 years, what's your vision for Mukurweini Dairy Limited?
I would say and confirm here that not even the 5 years, in the next 1 year, we shall be producing cheese.
Not a product.
It should be this year.
Not a product essentially found heavily in Kenya. Majority of them.
No. Cheese is there.
It is there.
Cheese is there, but the demand is just too high. I mean,
for what is available.
Cheese.
Yes.
Cheese, okay.
Yeah.
Cheese, you get it in pizza. You eat pizza.
I do.
You consume pizza.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. That is one of the consumers of cheese, and many others actually. Even in food and in so many things. So this year we are producing, if all goes well, we shall be producing cheese. In the next 2 years, that is before 5 years, it's most likely that we shall be producing butter. In this year or next year, or in 3 years, we shall bring more flavors to the shelf. We are thinking of orange flavor. We are thinking of passion. We are thinking of banana flavor and all those flavors. So that's where we are headed.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oof. Man, guess what? I usually say 30 minutes is not enough to really talk about your story. But Mr. Mutahi, thank you very much for taking your time to speak to us right here on A Look at Business.
Yeah,
we do appreciate it. Now, you want to know about that? The company is essentially Mukurweini Wakulima Dairy Limited. Mr. Mutahi right there, painting a picture of where we are in this particular industry. The biggest takeaway is, listen, if we're going to talk about formalization of small-scale farming in this country, think cooperatives. Is that it? Put yourselves together. All of you are running with the same product, same vision, same everything. So come together. Formalize yourselves. That's a story that started way back in 1990. If he's going to be the person to listen to about this particular one, it is him. Started as a self-help group. Now, a fully fledged limited company. Thank you very much. Taking back to the time that it came live right here on A Look at Business and Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. I'll meet you next week for another spectacular episode. Good night.